Welcome to this video on transmitting network data with Android Volley. To do this, we're going to use Android Studio and we're going to create a simple login simulation. So what's in this whole tutorial series? We're going to do create an Android Studio blank activity. We're going to strip it out to only the essential ingredients. We're going to install the Volley library. We're going to create some PHP scripts to receive and send data. We're going to add some network Volley requests. We're going to try, and then we're going to try to simulate this login. The philosophy here is going to be test early, test often. So wherever we get a chance to stop and test the app, we're going to do so. There's some great reference material here, Android developer training. In fact, we're going to take some sample code from this. There's a great video on one of the Android Volley developers talking about Volley. So if you want to get into more of the details about Volley, you can certainly read this, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. All right, and then of course you can get the Android Volley reference here. We'll talk about that in a later video, and this all the code for this simulated login will be on my GitHub page. All right, so let's get on to this. Creating a blank activity in Android Studio. So we're going to grab this blank activity. We're going to create a simple user login interface. We're going to reference those variables. We're going to add a button listener, and then we're going to send some feedback back to the interface. So as we go, let's go forward. In Android Studio, we are going to create a new project, and we're going to call this simple login. And we're going to accept the defaults. We're going to use Jelly Bean. It doesn't matter for these other things. And we're going to take a blank activity. Let's just rename this to login activity. Wonderful. Okay, and finish the project. All right, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to come back, pause the video, and come back when Android Studio gets this all built and ready to go. All right, we're back. While we did that wait, maybe you got some coffee, checked your lotto tickets, whatever. But okay, with Android Studio fired up, and here it is in its blank activity. Now, it's great, some cool stuff here, but it really kind of fogs what we're trying to get at. So what we're going to do is we're really just going to strip this allegedly blank activity basically down into nothing, and then starting over. Back here in the activity class, there's a bunch of stuff, cool, but we don't want to do it. So basically, I'm just going to strip all this stuff out. We're not even going to use it. It's going to create a bunch of errors here, but that's cool. We're going to fix that in just a second. Toolbars are cool, but we don't want that, and all this stuff. Going to take it right out. So here we are, basically minimum configuration. Even we don't want this different kind. We just want a plain old activity. Okay, so how do we get this stuff back in? So we're going to go, what's the Alt-Enter, import the class, Alt-Enter, Alt-Enter, import class. All right, so beautiful. There's a very minimal activity. Okay, now we're going to go back, and here's our user interface. Now, we got to get rid of this because we're going to start all over, and there's stuff in here that, we're embedding layouts, and so we're going to just delete this stuff, and we're going to start right all over. We're going to delete. I'm going to say, okay, I've got safe delete is something that's usually checked by default, and it warns you that something is used in the program other places, but we're just going to take that right out. All right, so we're going to start with a brand new layout resource file. Okay, activity, login, just like before. So it's all referenced. Linear layout, what we want, very simple. Okay, simple login, great. So now we're just going to add these components to our user interface. We've already got a layout here, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a text field. Okay, we're going to enter some data, and we're going to have some headers. Okay, so let's just grab a large text, throw it in here. Okay, this will be the header for username. There we go. And then we're going to need a text field to enter username under that. Okay, and we're going to call it. And so part of here kind of is a pseudo unit testing. We're just going to fill this stuff in, and then so we don't have to keep filling it in every time. The test apps test. So we're going to put in here for the text for our username. We're just going to call it my username, and 1, 2, 3, something like that. And we're going to give it a variable definition, edit, and we're going to say edit username. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to put another little medium text in here, and this is going to be, oops, password, large text, large text. Okay, so we're going to put on our password. Okay, and let's go down here. Now you could put in a password field, but it puts the little dots in, and you know we want to watch this. And this is just a simulation, so we're going to put in our password field and say my password. That'll actually be transmitted to the activity, and then we get password. Okay, there we go. Great. So let's add a couple more things here. Let's add some diagnostics. So we're going to throw a little text field in here. And let's see, we don't want any text in it, but we are going to be sending some diagnostic messages back to the user interface. So let's call text message. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to throw in a button, and a button will run our login. So of course a login, and let's give this another reference, login. Okay, so what we have here is simple user interface, very simple activity, and let's just fire it off to see what's going to happen here. And I'm going to pause the video and come back. I'm going to check my lottery tickets, and it's going to take a few minutes. So off we go, and we're going to run on the emulator. Be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. And you know, I didn't win the lottery, so I guess I'm back here continuing this tutorial. Okay, let's go back here, and we got this app going, and the emulator kicked in, and looks like everything's working. We didn't get any error messages. If you got some problems, go back and start over, back up, try to figure out what's going on. All right, so what we're going to do now is going to add basically a listener to this button, so we can feed back some information to the user interface. And so what I've done, you know, rather than type all this stuff out, you know, I see developers doing all this stuff on these tutorials, and they type, and you know, shit. I go, just, you know, we're going to go along with copy and pasting from other sources that I have. All right, so what do we got here? We got edit username, edit password, text message, a button. So we've got our variables referenced here. We're going to go get view by ID. We're going to grab the information here. We've got a reference to our text message and our button. So what's going to happen here is when we do on click listener, when the button's clicked, we're just basically going to grab that text from the user password, login, and we're going to feed it back to the okay, let's launch her off, our emulator, and let's see if we get her going here pretty quick. All right, so click login, and of course we get our stuff fed back here. So I just want to make sure everything's working. Let's just test it again. Password, let's just say enterprise. Login. Okay, great. So everything's working, very simple here, and we're ready to move on to installing some Volley in this app. Okay, we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.